Today what we're going to talk about really is business growth. Particularly business growth online. I'm going to actually step through this technique for you. When you walk away today, you have a specific takeaway that you can implement in your own business. Does that sound good? Yes? I've been working with Vistage. Would you believe I started speaking for Vistage when I was 17 years old? So what's happened is the web has changed, but most people's strategies have not changed. Who here has a website that represents their business? Hands up. Leave your hand up if the website is more than 3 years old. 5 years old, 8 years old. All right, we'll talk a little bit later. So the 3-axis model is a business model that I've developed over time that summarizes all businesses. So if you don't have a good strategy that involves being where the millennials are, then you probably don't have a business in 5 to 10 years. Does that make sense? Can you see how if you had a business without conversion, you wouldn't have a business at all? Google's a gamble because they don't tell you what's in their algorithm. Look at the stats by the US Bureau of Statistics. How much time do people spend watching television, including YouTube video, in the course of a given week in North America? Any ideas? A lot? A lot is true. It's about 7 hours a day. Who here spends less than 7 hours a day watching TV? That means somebody else is watching more. It drove the growth of that brand more than doubled, 107% in the first 6 months alone. In other words, great video can do extraordinary things because it converts so well. And you have to ask yourself, if I'm not doing video, am I really marketing? You can basically shoot great video on a cell phone. Who's got an iPhone? Just turn that thing on, right, and start shooting. You don't need to have fantastic, amazing, high production stuff to actually get on YouTube. The key concept that you need to take away, and if you're going to write down one thing, just one thing today, this is what I would write down. YouTube is an SEO ecosystem. The most commonly uploaded YouTube video file name that I see is DSC1702 because that's the file name in the camera and no one bothered to change it because they didn't know. So if you don't do these 6 things, it will not rank your video. If you do these 6 things, it will begin to rank your video, and there are more things you can do after this. So I would start hunting and doing the research for the keywords. Once I'd done that, I would make sure that those keywords were in my title. So if you just put up an ad, buy my stuff, we have found that doesn't convert at all. But if you put up something that's a genuine contribution, for example, for you, it might be how to find great coupons, how to use great coupons, amazing specials happening today, that kind of stuff, right? That's an actual contribution to my life when I watch that in my 40-minute YouTube session, right? So I pay attention. Thank you so much for your time this morning. I really appreciate it.